this time. Okay.
To
The man
protect.
starts walking towards us slowly. Waltz moves to stand in front of me. Yes, a 12-year-old looking person.
A 12-year-old who's the master of prestidigitation.
Okay.
Princess, stay close to me. Good evening, Princess Lucette.
Here we go.
And a good evening to you, Peter Pan.
Wow, snarky as ever. I still love his snark.
Snarky me and other snarky me.
Yep. The man drops into an elegant bow.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Varg. What do you want, Varg? Do you know who we are? I'd love to stay and chat, but I have more important things to do. The princess is coming with me.
Varg takes one long stride towards us. He taps the cane he's holding onto the ground. A surge of light emanates from the cane, then flares out toward us.
Princess, go back to the margin. Hurry.
Waltz starts towards Varg before I can stop him. Varg raises his cane and twists into one sharp movement. The light abruptly changes direction and slams into Waltz's side, throwing him some distance away. Did anyone else for some reason expect it to be a cane sword, even though we never see him do that?
Probably.
It will be when I make a cosplay for Varg.
True.
That's awesome. And I love that idea.
If you do, I need to borrow your cane for Evie when I finally actually make her coat.
My cane now.
But
Only
Evie.
mine.
But
Only mine.
Evie.
Oh my god, you should make a Varg cosplay. Make the clothing reversible and the other side white and have two wigs. You know why.
That would be cool, yeah.
Right?
I can see that.
Waltz!
Ooh. Do I make Var or do I start working on Varg or do I get Waltz first?
I would think Waltz would be easier, and I think you already have at least one shirt that can pull him off. Yeah, you have the shirt I made you. So you already got starting pieces.
We'll figure it out.
Before I can step away, Varg has lifted me into his arms. He grins at me, almost wolfishly, before darting away from Waltz. This is the boldest he's ever been in his first introduction.
Subtle.
No!
Princess.
Let me go!
No can do, princess. I let you go and things will get messy.
What do you want from me? Are you a... I can't even say the word. My blood runs cold as I consider the situation.
Cold as ice.
Are you a witch?
That I am not.
And you expect me to believe you? You just used magic back there.
I guess I did.
Let me go! I squirm in his arms, attempting to kick and push him away from me. Varg abruptly stops with a grunt to let me down. This is my chance. I start to pull away from him, but he quickly grabs my wrist and pulls me back.
Not so fast.
Get your hands off of me!
I'm not here to hurt you, princess.
After what you did to Waltz, he leans in towards me until he can look me in the eyes.
Well, he was in the way. Besides, not like I killed him.
Varg begins walking again, this time pulling me with him. I try to break away from his iron grip, but fail. Where are you taking me?
Back to where you truly belong. There's one thing I've learned from the fairy tales, is that a princess belongs in a palace.
Now I'm just imagining during his time off, Varg just sits in the library reading books. I'm unable to... Well, when he's not Fritz, at least. I'm unable to stop the gaze that leaves my lips. Or gasp. He stops and turns to me.
You've been away from home for far too long, princess. Don't you want to go back?
I do want to go home, but I'm not welcome there anymore. At least not while I'm still cursed. I'm gonna guess it's karma.
Release her. I'm gonna guess. I am gonna guess. Waltz.
Definitely karma.
I'm pretty sure it's karma.
You never know.
Varg releases... Well, because he's always in these woods at night.
That and also I just read Sword Strike and went.
Also, It actually could be Garland because he trains with Jurian and Garland. So
True,
That's
true.
true.
we'll
But
find.
Karma
Here's where we
is the
find
more
out it's actually. Here's where we find out it's actually Waltz.
plot twist. It's Delora with a mustache.
I'd be down.
Varg releases me just in time to block a sword strike that comes out of the darkness from the trees.
How annoying. Oh, look, it's me and other me again. I could say the same thing about you.
I back away as the two blows. Varg uses his cane to defend himself against the man that just emerged from the trees. That man. He's the one who was with Waltz, that man with the sword that helped save me from the bandits all those months ago. There's something graceful in the way the man moves as he swings his sword at Varg. He almost looks like he's dancing. The stranger continues swiping the sword, eventually gaining enough leverage to force Varg back. He moves so quickly that it takes all of Varg's reflexes to simply block his slashes. They're so fast. Varg takes a few steps back and keeps a safe distance from the stranger.
Impressive.
The man gives Varg a lopsided smile as he points his sword at him. The two of them temporarily frozen as they each wait for the other to move first.
You're not too bad yourself.
Wait, is that? Now that he's stopped and I have a better look at him, I can see that the stranger's features are uncannily similar to Karma's. Karma? But is it really him?
Princess, are you okay?
I turned my head to see Waltz and Laura rushing towards me. How did you find me?
Laura used her magic to track you down. Thankfully, no other witches beat us here.
Waltz halts in front of me while Laura advances towards the two men.
So what do we have here?
Delora, right? I can't say that it's been a pleasure to meet you. I have to compliment you all. You did an impressive job of hiding the princess from us. Took us a while to finally track her down. Finding your so-called tavern was difficult, you know, but I got lucky.
How does he even know about the tavern? No sooner are the words out of Varg's mouth than the swordsman is suddenly upon him again, posed to attack. Varg blocks his sword a second too late and is forced to back away, clutching his now bloody arm.
Hey. You talk too much. Sorry. I shouldn't have forgotten my manners in front of royalty.
Varg's gaze turns to Delora, a smirk somehow still on his face despite his injury.
You have quite an interesting bunch with you, witch. How about joining us instead? Could always use more witches like yourself.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Too bad.
Varg turns to look at me. He holds out a hand and gestures me towards him.
Really?
Come with me, princess. You know you don't belong here.
I clench my hands in a fist as I shake my head.
Your mother wouldn't be very happy with your decision, princess. Especially after all she's done to make sure you'll be a suitable heir.
Mother? What are you talking about? But Varg ignores me as he raises his cane.
Sorry to leave the party so quickly, but I'll be back soon enough for you, princess. Next time, whether you like it or not, you'll be coming with me.
I'm not done with you.
Laura throws her hands out, beginning to gather light in her palms, but Varg has already brought his cane down on the ground. Thick smoke envelops the area, making my eyes water. When the smoke clears, Varg is gone. Laura-
Job finish.
Laura huffs in annoyance as she lowers her arms back down to her sides.
To think that those witches are using a human to do their dirty work.
What was that cane he was carrying?
I look up at the stranger, who has sheathed his sword and is walking toward where Waltz, Delora, and I are standing.
It's an enchanted item. That cane has been infused with a spell that allows Varg to use magic.
I want that cane.
Limited magic, but powerful enough to make him dangerous.
Well, it's far easier for a human to explore the kingdom without anyone getting suspicious.
The stranger stands close enough for me to get a proper look at his face. I can no longer deny the resemblance I saw earlier. Karma, is that really you?
You have good eyes, darling.
So this is what Karma looks like as a man. Why does he need to disguise himself as a woman?
Because I look fantastic both ways.
That he does. I open my mouth to ask the question when I'm interrupted by Waltz's hand on my shoulder.
Are you hurt anywhere?
I turn to Waltz and freeze when I notice the dried blood on his forehead. You're bleeding!
I'll be fine.
I step back and realize that Waltz is standing oddly, favoring one leg to the other. Varg must have badly hurt him. I think we have to go back now?
Thinking.
We have to go back. There's no time to explain.
I vote we have to go back.
Yeah.
You on board, Abby?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright. I frown as I study Waltz's wound. We have to go back to the marcher now. You have to get your wounds checked.
This is nothing. I'm just glad you're not hurt.
Stop worrying about me. You're the one in need of medical attention. Can I keep the edge from my voice when I speak? Waltz's expression falls.
I'm sorry, Princess. I didn't mean to.
Waltz's expression suddenly twists as he doubles over. His eyes glazed in pain. Waltz! Laura catches one of Waltz's arms, supporting him as she turns to address both Karma and I. Okay, the S's after the Z's are like the worst freaking thing.
We should return to the margin. Rumple needs to see to Waltz's injuries.
Rumple?
I'll explain everything once we're back. Yeah, the S's are hard after Z.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of being after we're back, I say let's take a bathroom break.
I
I'm down
agree.
for that.
Alright.
It's been like 3 hours.
Yeah. 2 hours,
2
but
hours.
yeah.
Same difference. Yep, bathroom break. And then rumble. Yes.
Alright. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Right, Willie, Abby, you guys back yet?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright. Where is Button? There is Button. Here we go. Alright. Delora calls for Rumple as soon as we arrive at the Marchant. When Rumple enters the reception area, he's clearly distraught by Waltz's injuries.
Oops. What happened?
Heal first, explain later.
I expect Rumple to object, and I'm surprised when he does nothing more than nod. Carefully, Rumple leads Waltz back to his room so he can be treated. Dora looks in the direction Rumple and Waltz have gone with a thoughtful look on her face.
We're lucky that we have Rumple here with us. Anise is good with herbs and small wounds, but Rumple has experience with more serious injuries.
Experience? What are you talking about?
Remember his curse? Rumple is not the only one who does not remember who he is. None of the townsfolk remember his name either.
What about those with the curse? Shouldn't they at least still be able to remember his name?
Rumple is an exception to the rule, as he is with many things. In his case, not a single person can remember his name. Funny thing is, they can still recognize him. He ran into someone who called him a doctor today. Even just hearing it brought a memory back. He's gotten one of the chapters of his journal back now. He is quite the proficient doctor.
He collects his journal pages by retrieving memories from others that still remember him? What a strange curse.
She's not wrong.
My eyes wander around the reception area and I notice that someone is missing. Where is Karma?
Don't worry about him. He's probably changing now.
I don't understand why Karma is so secretive about his reasons for wearing a disguise. I'm about to ask Delora if she knows any of the specific of Karma's curse when the door to the reception area is thrown open.
Princess?
I'm surprised when Anise suddenly throws her arms around me. She pulls me into a tight hug.
I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you're safe.
She pulls away and begins to wipe at tears that have sprung to her eyes. But why are you crying?
Because I was worried about you, silly.
Was she really so worried she'd cry? Why? I'm intensely aware of the awkwardness of the situation. Thank you for worrying about me. I thought the words might do something to ease her worries, but her sobbing only grows louder. Anise?
I'll get you something warm to drink.
I stare off after Anise before I turn to look at Delora worriedly. Did I say the wrong thing?
Quite the opposite, actually. You made her very happy.
I did, but she was crying.
They're called tears of joy, Princess. I'd be overwhelmed too if you were suddenly nice to me. Miracles tend to bring people to tears.
I just said thank you.
And that was a kindness in and of itself. No wonder she's so happy.
I was being kind.
And congratulations, Princess. I see that you've managed to complete your first good deed.
My hand moves instinctively to my pendant. I clutch at a new piece that hangs there.
I knew you could do it.
Delora smiles warmly. For some reason, it makes me feel strangely proud. Parfait walks into the room, startling us both. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw her. Her face is ashen.
Parfait. You know that continuously using your magic takes a toll on your body.
I have no choice. The witches. Her voice trails off as her eyes meet Delora's. Parfait and Delora look at each other silently. The tension in the room mounts as they continue to stare at each other without uttering a word. Eventually, Parfait's eyes wander to me. Keeping her in the dark won't make this situation any better, Delora. Parfait moves towards me, but her knees buckle. Before I can react, Delora is already at her side, supporting her.
Faye, you need to rest. I'll take care of this.
No, she needs to hear this from both of us. What is going on? We wanted to tell you about this later, but we can no longer afford to wait. Laura helps Parfait to a chair. I tentatively take a seat opposite the two of them. We're going to tell you the whole truth of this situation. The whole truth. Laura sighs before she eventually speaks.
Do you know why I cursed you, Princess?
Some twisted sense of mischief?
That's not the whole reason. We needed you to change your ways, Princess. To change how you see the world. If we didn't do something, you were going to end up as merciless and cold-hearted as your mother.
What are you talking about? My eyes go to Parfait, but she doesn't meet my gaze. Hilda, your mother, was not always so cruel. Parfait's eyes look wet as she's about to cry. Why are you speaking as if you knew her? She was my friend, long before she was the queen. Hilda was like a sister to me. But she changed when the witch hunt started. What does the witch hunt have to do with Mother? Parfait does not meet my eyes, but Delora is looking right at me.
Your mother was a witch, Lucette. The most powerful of witches, in fact. Hilda was a Tenham Barham bearer.
My heart drops into the pit of my stomach. No, that's impossible. I've never saw her use magic. She cannot be a witch.
That's what she wanted you to believe.
You cannot speak. Wait, you cannot keep something like that a secret.
If you try hard enough, you can keep anything a secret. Even from your own family.
But how? Laura pauses for a long moment before she speaks.
She erased your memories, you said.
The air leaves my lungs as I struggle to remain calm. Waltz said that Mother ordered my memories to be erased, but are they saying that was Mother herself who erased my memories? Jagged pieces of memory and thought begin to scrape together in my mind, or snap together.
She needed you obedient and compliant. Whenever you acted out, she took that memory of disobedience from you. And it didn't take long at all to mold you into her perfect and unquestioning little doll.
I grip my dress without realizing my hands are shaking. And I did know Waltz. Mother really did erase my memories of him. How much of my childhood did I lose? Hilda cherished humans before. She was kind and selfless. She was devoted to maintaining the balance between the Lucas and the Tenenbaum. But Hans... Laura moved to place a gentle hand on Parfait's shoulder.
Not your fault.
I trusted him too much. He swore that they would only be stories, small fantasies to share with his children. Hilda wanted to turn him away, but I disagreed. I allowed Hans to weave his tales about witches and fairies. The fairy tales? Laura nods.
Hans' fairy tales became hugely popular, and in practically every single one of his stories, there was a witch who was bad and a fairy who was good. To add insult to injury, it was well known that Hans had been welcomed to the Lucius Bearer, but not by the Tenham Barham Bearer. The humans took that information, and their imagination ran wild.
Hilda and I went to Hans to beg him to tell the truth, but it was too late. No matter what Hans said, everyone believed that he was being threatened by the witches. I don't think he ever meant for things to get so out of hand either. When the king at the time, your grandfather, also voiced his negative opinions on witches, he only added fuel to the fire. It was as if he was giving humans permission to carry on with their witch genocide.
And we could do nothing to defend ourselves. We were bound by our oath to never hurt a living soul. that the witch hunt lasted for years. Most of us were slaughtered. All witches are bound to the Tenenbaum bearer through the Tenenbaum itself. Hilda felt each of the deaths like it was her own.
It drove her mad.
And she broke our oath. She killed the king, your grandfather.
Mother killed my grandfather?
As Hilda's power kept growing, more and more good witches were corrupted through her influence on the Tenenbaum.
I tried to stop her, but she was already lost to reason.
Hilda wanted to take Angie out for the witches. She wanted to take revenge on the humans for what they had done to all of us. And since your father was next in line, Hilda forced Gennaro to marry her so she would have a legitimate claim to the throne. And she did it even though she knew he loved another woman. The very woman who sits on the throne today.
Ophelia? Delora nods. King has always loved Ophelia?
Hilda created the fairy tale curse to punish the humans. She wanted to fuel the Tenenbaum with their hatred and anger.
Parfai's voice becomes very soft. The balance between dark and light was lost. While Hilda lived, Angiel was a place of grief. I can feel an impending headache coming. But even if what you're saying is true, Mother is dead. She's been dead for 4 years. She is. But for some reason, the witches are becoming more active. Garland, Jurian's patrols have confirmed this. Patrols? Is that why they disappear at night? I had to cast a glamour on you so that other witches would be unable to recognize you as princess. But it seems that they've already seen through your glamour. They're looking for you. Oh, wrong person.
Hey. They're looking for you, princess. The witches are looking for you.
What? Why? The Tenenbaum needs the bearer. The witches need. The witch. A witch needs to take on that role and regulate the balance between the Lucius and the Tenenbaum.
For the past few years, it's been in a state of hibernation. We believe Hilda infused her life into the Tenenbaum to keep it stable. But now, the Tenenbaum is beginning to wake again.
We believe that's why so many people are being cursed lately. The witches are preparing for their new bearer. Laura turns to me with an expression I cannot quite read.
We only have to wait until you turn 18.
The air in the room seems to disappear all at once. Princess, on your 18th birthday, your curse will break regardless of whether you complete your 3 good deeds. And you'll become the Tenenbaum bearer. You will inherit that title and that power from your mother. Impossible. My heart is racing and I feel faint. Even if Mother was a witch, I can't use magic at all.
All halflings like you inherit their magic at 18.
No, I'm a human. Princess. Dolores' expression is grim as she speaks.
We've been watching over you for a long time, Lucette. We know what sort of influence your mother had on you. The curse was a test. We needed to know that you wouldn't return Angiel to what it was when your mother was queen.
We can't allow another great war to tear Angiel apart. The Lord and I believe that there is still goodness left in you. You just need a wake-up call. Thus the curse and the 3 good deeds. We wanted you to see what you hadn't in years, to be exposed to the true reality of things.
And above all, we needed to see that you were capable of 3 good deeds.
I attempt to grasp the fleeing thoughts in my mind, but to no avail. I feel numb.
That's it. No more secrets.
Parfai's voice is gentle when she speaks to me. The future of this kingdom is in your hands.
Will you follow your mother's footsteps, or will you achieve the same balance that we had before? Dun dun dun.
No matter how much I try, I'm unable to sleep after my talk with Laura and Parfait. It's also the first time she doesn't storm out angry either. Mother was a wicked witch. And I'm the next bearer of the Tenenbaum. It all makes sense now. So many people hated me because they thought I would be just like Mother. I feel the weight of that truth crash down on me, and it's so suffocating. What am I supposed to do now? I turn on my side to bring my knees to my chest. How do I know what the truth is anymore? Suddenly an idea occurs to me. There's one other person who might know the truth. Waltz. I wonder how he is doing. I slip out of my room and make my way towards Waltz's.
Injured and asleep, if I had to guess.
Yep. Waltz is sound asleep when I push the door to his room open. Girl, you still haven't learned to knock.
Jesus Christ.
He looks so small in the bed. Well, he is in the body of a 12-year-old. I pause to look at that hefty amount of herbs lying on the table. Those herbs. I remember a niece told me once they help with pain. Rumple and the niece have given Waltz a lot of them. The thoughts about the truth of my mother retreat to the back of my mind as I remember the encounter with Varg. Waltz would never have gotten hurt if it wasn't for me. My eyes begin to sting.
Oh, jeez.
Do it.
I mean, nobody's watching.
Cry?
Yeah. No, you know who is watching? Waltz.
That's creepy.
No, it's the thing in the mirror. No. Alright, I guess we'll
Oh,
cry.
God.
No, she stares at the abyss, and the abyss stared back.
Oh dear.
I'm a firm believer in crying when you need to.
Okay, we're gonna cry now.
We're gonna cry now.
Okay, anyways. For the first time in years, I let my tears flow freely. I don't even know why I'm crying, and I find myself talking aloud. You said that crying doesn't make a person weak, but it certainly makes me feel that way.
That's
You're not weak, princess.
Waltz? When did he wake up?
You're the strongest person I know.
Waltz's voice is soft and his words slurred. He's clearly still under the influence of the medication he's been given, but he still continues to speak.
Despite everything you've gone through, you're standing on your own 2 feet. That was almost English.
It's fine, he's medicated. I cannot lie anymore.
Yeah, for once you have an excuse.
I've only been pretending to be a strong person. But I can't do this anymore, knowing that all this time I've been living a life full of lies. Questioning even my mother's affections now. Another dangerously gloomy thought hangs at the brink of my mind. If Mother did not care about me, that means no one did at all.
I do.
Got
I
it.
care about you, Lucette.
We did it. Waltz's voice begins to grow weak as his eyes flare closed. You're tired, Waltz. You should sleep.
Lucette.
His voice is slurred and slow, but hearing him say my name without the title somehow feels nostalgic.
Please don't cry. Little star.
Waltz closes his eyes, finally surrendering to sleep. I take a deep breath and leave his room, closing the door quietly behind me. Again!
Okay. Abra. Cadabra.
Teach me how to do it too!
Magician never reveals his secrets, little star.
You always say that. Please. Just this one. Please, Waltz.
On your birthday. I'll teach you how to do it on your birthday.
Promise?
Promise.
That motherfucker probably told her that for like 2 years, knowing damn well that it'd be like another 10 before he could actually do it.
Yeah.
What a dick!
I wake.
Yes. Yes, I am.
I wake slowly, the dream somehow still clear in my mind. Dream about Waltz. Was that a memory? I shake my head before I glance at the clock, stopping to stare at the time. How is it already this late?
Princess?
Waltz? The door opens and Waltz walks inside with a tray of food. He sets it down by my bedside as I stare at him in shock.
You're finally awake.
It's Skyrim! No, I'm kidding. Waltz,
It's
you're
Skyrim.
supposed to be in bed.
I didn't want to take it there.
This is revenge for that one time in the apple orchard, Willie, when you did take it there.
Alright, that's fair. Touche. I'm only injured. Not as... I'm only injured, not an invalid.
But
I'm fine, Princess. It's not like you to worry so much.
I respond to his smile with an exasperated sigh. He'll never heal properly if he doesn't stay in bed.
Not with that attitude. Yeah. I wanted to give you this yesterday.
Waltz reaches behind his back and pulls out a neatly wrapped box. It looks as if he pulled it out of thin air. Another magic trick? He hands me the wrapped box. What's this?
Yeah. Wrist pocket. You'll need to open it to find out.
Ah, it's a doll. This is...
What a dick.
You've been wanting this, haven't you?
I stared around the doll he bought for me. It's the same one that caught my eye at the shop. The reason we went to the toy shop was so that you could buy this for me?
And I'm glad it didn't get damaged last night.
My chest tightens with emotion. These dolls are expensive. Waltz would have needed more than just his usual show tips to buy this. Why would you buy this for me?
I figured you might need the extra company. Plus, you've always loved dolls, so I thought this one might cheer you up.
I stare at the doll as I cradle her in my hands, my heart feeling full in my chest. Thank you.
I don't know, I think Waltz is a pretty good doll.
I've never gotten an unexpected gift like this before. Waltz clears his throat, and when I look up at him, I notice that his expression is somehow sad.
Oh. Lady Parfait told me that she and Delora told you the whole story yesterday. I have to apologize to you.
For what?
The reason why they didn't tell you earlier is because I asked them to keep it a secret.
I look down at the doll, my mouth suddenly dry. Why?
As I wanted you to enjoy having a normal life. It was just for a short time. Knowing the truth limits your freedom. I didn't want you to feel that pressure so soon. But I can see how that was selfish of me to deprive you of the truth. I'm sorry.
I clutch tired to the doll, unable to look up at Waltz. Why would you be so kind without expecting anything in return?
Kindness doesn't always need to be paid back.
When you do something for someone, they always expect the favor to be returned. That's what Mother taught me. From what I've experienced, no one's ever kind without expecting something in return.
I don't expect anything from you in return, Princess.
But how can I know for certain that you're speaking the truth?
Well, you can't. No matter what someone's true intentions are, their actions are always up for a different interpretation. So it'll be up to you to judge their actions. Only you can decide whether or not to believe me.
I pull my knees to my chest, curling around the doll. I still don't understand how you can be lying to me. You told me yourself that the Tenenbaron that cursed you. That means my mother...
Your mother was the witch that took away my magic and sealed it in Neverland. But that doesn't mean it is your fault that I'm cursed. You're more than just Hilder's daughter, Princess. You are your own person, I know that for a fact that you're capable of more goodness than Hildur ever was.
Waltz gestures towards my necklace.
You're only two deeds away from breaking your curse.
I would not have accomplished the first one without your help. In fact, I have done nothing to help you break your... My voice trails off as my thoughts begin to come together. Waltz, to break your curse you need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland, right? What do they look like?
Neverland is a gold box with a carving of wings on the top, and Tinkerbell is a matching key.
I sit up abruptly. We have to go to the palace. Walt stares at me, his expression clearly perplexed.
What? Why?
Because I know where to find Tinkerbell and Neverland.
He's like, wait, what?
Are we gonna break his curse that fast?
I should also say it is 11:32 Central right now.
Yep.
Okay. Making sure.
Yep. I was thinking we go till midnight unless you want to stop.
No, I didn't know when people were thinking, so.
Alright. Waltz's description of Neverland and Tinkerbell was enough to jog my memory. A long time ago, Mother gave me a box and a key that matched Waltz's earlier description perfectly. She gave me strict instructions to hide them in my room and to never let anyone else have them. I never questioned Mother's orders and kept both the box and key tucked in one of my drawers. I'd forgotten I even had those things until Waltz mentioned them. The minute I remembered, I sent a letter to Rod requesting he help us get into the palace. I knew that our strained relationship would make it hard for him to trust me, so I emphasized the importance of the item we needed to obtain. A week later, he finally came through. Now we're just outside the palace, waiting for him. Julian and Garland are here to protect us in case the need arises. I glanced at Waltz, who was standing beside me, fidgeting. He's been against me coming with him ever since he found out my plans. You cannot stop me. I refuse to be left behind.
You still won't change your mind about this, Princess. You know the situation with the witches. It's not safe for you to be here.
It's not safe for me anywhere outside the Marchen, and you know that. Besides, how you plan on finding Neverland and Tinkerbell without me? I'm the only one who knows where they are.
Like I said, you just tell me where they are, I can go on my own. There's no need for you to put yourself in this much danger.
I'm going and you cannot stop me, Waltz.
Yes.
I turn to face him fully. This is my choice, Waltz. I want to do this. For a moment there is silence between us as Waltz studies my expression. He eventually sighs and shakes his head.
I should know by now there's no changing your mind when you're determined to do something. Just promise to stay close to me, okay?
I nod absently as I feel around in my pocket for a small object. A violet parfait gave me before Waltz and I left for the palace. She said it should help when the need arises. It's a shame that neither Parfait nor Delora could be here due to their urgent meeting with the fairies.
Joke's on you. Smash the thing, it's Delora.
Jurian and Garland finally arrive with Rod. Ready? I can only nod in reply. Hopefully nothing will go wrong.
Everything will go wrong.
We make our way through the secret passageway. I've heard of this secret passageway from the king before, but this is the first time I've ever been here. They say that it was built as an escape route should the need to evacuate the royal family arise. Only the commander of the Order of Caldera and the king knows about this place. Rod, how do you even know of this place? How did you get a key? I thought that was only the king and Sir Alcaster had copies.
It was Lady Parfait who showed me this place and gave me the key. Can't leave the palace unattended on normal circumstances, so she suggested I go through here whenever I needed to get to the margin.
Then, how was she able to get a copy of the key?
You should ask her that yourself. Anyway, you haven't told me what you needed from your room.
It's an item that will break Waltz's curse.
I see.
Why did it take you so long to respond to my letter?
Palace has been on high alert since last week.
Why? Rod stops and looks at me. The hesitation is clear in his eyes.
Did something happen? A week ago, King received a letter. A warning.
A letter?
3 days from now, the king will be judged and convicted. His crown will be given to the one more worthy.
I stare at Rod with slow understanding. 3 days from now, but that date...
Your 18th birthday.
I can't continue to stare at Rod in disbelief. This cannot be a coincidence. But a new king? Do you think someone's specifically targeting my father? We all know that royals are always in danger.
But this threat made the king especially nervous.
Are the witches involved in this? The silence that falls within the tunnels is heavy.
They think there's a good chance they might be. That's why the Order of Caldera is tight in security.
We continue walking in silence. Eventually, Rod points at something ahead of us.
Here we are.
Dimly,
Again?
Dimly, the tunnel illuminates a rusted door that leads into the palace. Rod looks around warily while Waltz and I quickly duck back into the shadow of a column.
Guards will be doing their rounds on this side soon. We need to hurry.
Right. The hallways are thankfully quiet as we traverse them. Rod did a good job of scoping out the times of patrol.
Nah, it's scooping out.
No, he's gonna scoop them like ice cream. Finally, we reach
Walk
my
around with a
room.
spoon.
No, an ice cream scoop. Come on. I stopped at the door to my room, suddenly overwhelmed by nostalgia. It's been so long since I've been in my room. Is this Emma Lane's room now?
No. By the king's order, your room has been untouched since you were cursed.
Then what has become of this room? Look at Rod in shock as he stares the door into my room with a complicated expression on his face.
I think maids are sent in here to dust occasionally, but otherwise everything should be just as it was before.
But why would the king keep the room as it is if he doesn't remember me? I turn back to the door thoughtfully, then glance at Rod. We can handle the rest. You should leave before you draw any unwanted attention. I don't want to get you into trouble.
Don't worry. We'll figure out how to get back to that passage without alerting anyone.
What?
You've changed.
What do you mean by that?
You never would have cared about someone's safety before.
Rod turns to leave before I can respond.
Be careful.
Thank you. Garland and I will stand outside. Make it quick. I nod Jurian before turning back to the door and turning the knob. I glance at Waltz and he nods at me. I take a deep breath and open the door.
Hello, buddy.
Rod
Hello,
told me that my
buddy.
room had been untouched since I left, but I was not expecting it to be like this. Nothing has changed. Not a thing out of place. There's not even a speck of dust on the dolls on my shelves.
Lucette?
I'm confused as to why this room has been untouched. Certainly the king would have thought to do something else with it. At the very least, he would not have had maids coming in consistently to clean it. But I cannot let myself linger on the questions. I have no time for them. I came here to find Neverland and Tinkerbell. I look at Waltz and nod. Let us start searching.
What?
Time passes, but I'm only able to find the key. The box is nowhere to be found, not even the drawer that I remember putting it in. Oh, that's different from the other storylines.
I think you had Neverland and Tinkerbell this whole time.
Have you tried searching for it in my room before?
I have, but I didn't find anything. She must have used glamour magic to hide it from me.
I stare at the key with frustration. I don't understand. I'm sure it was here.
You're sure you didn't throw it away?
No, I would never throw away such a beautiful box. Besides, I kept most of my things. They're all valuable to me, even if they're not outwardly beautiful.
I wouldn't have believed in you if I hadn't seen this.
He leans down to pluck a puppet from one of my drawers. He holds it up with a smile and I feel my cheek heat in embarrassment. Aww.
Oh my god, it's terrible. He made it when he was a kid.
I just never remembered to throw that out. Waltz gazes at me thoughtfully.
That's the only reason?
Well, look at the puppet in his hands and find the truth spilling out of me.
Yay.
I was never able to put my finger on why, but I have always liked that puppet. A smile stretches across Waltz's face.
You kept it even though I did such a bad job with the sewing.
What? You made this?
Yeah, the first puppet I ever made. Yep, saw that one coming.
Waltz turned the puppet in his hands, looking down on it fondly before his eyes meet mine.
You were the only one who taught me how to sew in the first place, you know.
What? I was the one who taught him how to sew? I stare at the puppet. I probably kept it because you made it.
How cruel.
Wow.
Huh?
Do you have any idea what you're doing to my poor heart?
You seem perfectly fine to me. Waltz shakes his head and sighs. Waltz?
Dab. No dance.
What? The knob begins to turn. Waltz and I exchange glances before we both dart into different hiding places. I hide myself under the bed, and he runs to the curtains, which more easily conceal his smaller body. Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
The king? What is he doing here? When the king steps inside, I notice there's something in his hands. It's the box.
Dun, dun, dun.
Why'd he grab it? It's the box! But why does he have it? Look at Waltz and he gives me a small nod, affirming that it is indeed Neverland.
Who's there? Show yourself now if you don't want to get hurt.
The king unsheathes his sword.
Oh, shit.
What should we do? Look at Waltz, who signals to me to stay in place. He mouths something, and I think he might be saying that he needs to find a way to get us out. Is Waltz going to sacrifice himself again? Will he be alright? Should I trust him?
Hey. Listen to Waltz. Trust in the man.
Hey.
Trust in the man, child.
Okay, we got 2 for stay. I'm teetering. Sounds like you're also struggling, Dylan.
Yeah, because, like, she's at that point in the plot where she's really wishy-washy as usual, and I could literally see her do either or.
I could see her revealing herself, but, like, at the same time, what good is that gonna do if the king sees her? I mean, he wouldn't hurt her, but, like, what would that accomplish?
Yeah.
But then staying, it's like, does he remember Waltz at all? We don't know.
I don't think he would.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guarantee
Because
he
of
would
the
remember Waltz,
curse, I don't
because
think he would.
Well,
Like,
he doesn't remember Lucette, but, like, the thing is, did Hilder erase his memories of Waltz too, or no?
I almost guarantee she did, because why bother not doing it?
Yeah.
And even then, like, if she didn't, if he brought it up, that could mess with Lucette. So I guarantee he doesn't.
Maybe.
Or doesn't remember
And
Waltz.
also, but also, like, he might not have even known she was friends with Waltz to begin with, because
That's true too. They did
He-
hide it. So.
yeah, until the mom discovered it, and then her father was kind of distant, anyways.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well, we had 2 for stay. I guess we'll just stick with stay.
sure.
I nod at Waltz. He steps out of the curtains and raises his hands in surrender.
Forgive me, Your Majesty.
I know you. Never mind. Never mind. Okay.
What?
Apparently, she just left that big ass loophole in her plans.
What?
Anyway.
Well, he
You
might not have
were-
known
Why did that
part.
work?
Wow. You were Hilder's apprentice. Waltz, was it?
I remember when Waltz had worked for Mother, so naturally the king would know who he was.
It's been a while, Your Majesty. I'm honored you still remember me.
You haven't changed. Not at all. So, Hilda really did curse you for betraying her.
Betraying her? Betraying
Wow,
her
this
how?
worked out a lot better than I thought it would have.
Position.
The king places his sword back in its scabbard.
I have no idea what you're doing here now, but
The king surprises us both by getting down on one knee and bowing to Waltz.
Your Majesty, you shouldn't.
I was never able to thank you after the war, so thank you.
Oh, fuck. They're dropping that right here and now. Okay.
So much for our kingdom, Waltz.
And Lucettes like under the bed like, what?
So, thank you. We owe you our lives. If only all witches were as good as you.
They're
The
just
king's-
dropping that now? Okay.
The king
Alright.
stands once again, his posture stiff and straight.
There's more of us than you think, Your Majesty.
I'm lost. What are they talking about?
Yeah, meanwhile, under the bed, what is happening?
I didn't do it for the kingdom.
Waltz turns to look at me suddenly, a small smile on his face.
I did it for her.
Her? Who are you talking about?
Whoops.
Waltz nods his head at me.
All right, Lucette.
I slide out of my hiding place and stand in front of the king. It's been months since I last saw him. The king's eyes widen as he looks at me.
You're that girl from the gates.
You remember me?
It's more like I find it impossible to forget you.
What?
I have a lot of questions for the two of you, but the most important is, why are you both in this room? Regardless of the fact that I know you, Waltz, you have still broken into the palace.
We would not have done it if we did not have to. I steel myself to further scolding when the king turns to look at me. That box you were holding, we need it to break Waltz's curse.
How did you come to have it, Your Majesty?
The king looks down at the box as if only noticing it for the first time.
I was in this room the other day and noticed a chip on the side of the box. I took it to get it fixed.
Chip, I did drop it once a while back, but did not think to get it fixed myself. Why would you do that?
She's like, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut about that.
The king looks around the room, a faraway look in his eyes.
This room is special to me. Oh, I do not know why. I feel like this room and I are both waiting for someone to return. And everything must be perfect for when they do.
I feel my chest tighten even as the king huffs out
Derisive.
derisive laugh.
What am I saying?
He cannot miss me when he does not remember me. He can't. Right?
But if this box is all that you require, Waltz, you may have it. It's the least I can do after all that you've done for us.
The king holds up the box to Waltz, who reaches out to take it.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I'm
Look
gonna...
who we have here.
Yeah, it's either Varg or maybe Mithros is my
If
guess.
it's
Probably
if
wrong.
it's not Varg, I'm gonna be sad.
Well, you're still
Oh,
Mithros,
look.
aren't you?
I'm doing Mithros
Oh,
now.
you are. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember.
Please, I don't need to have 4 of me talking at once.
I basically took all of Haku's characters.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all the dad
I'm
characters.
keeping Karma though. Fuck you.
You can keep Karma.
We all freeze at the sound of the new voice. I turn and find an all too familiar figure leaning against the doorway, a mischievous grin on his face. Hey, it's Varg.
What a sweet little reunion.
Varg?
Oh, damn it, I hate that guy. He's always so mouthy. Why do I let you stay here?
Chapter 6, Betrayals. Alright. This is where we end.
Oh, the cliffhanger
tonight.
is real.
Yes!
The cliffhanger is so real.
I am good at the
Yeah.
cliffhangers. It's my duty as a writer.
Waltz isn't gonna get his powers for another like 4 chapters.
Alright, we'll do this again next Friday. So anyone watching the stream, aside from Abby and Willie, thank you for watching. And now I'm gonna mute this audio to wait for it to catch up.